afternoon. This is your Pan-African show called Afreeqa with your host Seifu. Today we are bringing you someone that's come back home for the first time. We say welcome.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Menlik Zergabachew, and I hail from Maryland, East Coast of America. So
Nice.
yeah.
Well, we welcome you to our show and home.
Thank you. It's beautiful to be here.
Yeah. So tell me how it feels for the first time you walked in the airport. Let's start with the airport, or should we start on the plane?
On the plane, it was painful because I'm sure you can see from my size. If you're not paying for a special seat, it's gonna be kind of hell. But yeah, it was the ride over here was different. The longest ride I've ever been on,
Right.
and I have a fear of planes, so that was interesting. The airport, when I got there, it was busy, very busy, more busy than I expected. But it was beautiful. It was crazy. It was an experience of a lifetime, for sure, for sure.
Then you got into a cab and
then-
drove into the city. So I would
And I
like
saw
to
a million-
share your experience, share what you felt. I mean, because this is the first time.
I felt like I don't know if you've seen the movie Inception, like when you're in like a dream, and everyone, you know, like it felt weird because I'm seeing 100 million twins of mine. You feel me? Like, in the States, I see someone who looks like me. It's usually a family member,
Right.
but here it's everybody. You know, it's crazy.
It is a nice feeling, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
real nice.
What brought you home at this particular time?
How can I say? The life circumstances finally permitted for me to take a nice long trip. What else can I say? Oh, I'm working on an album. That's a very important piece of the trip.
So did you come to actually work on an album, or?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, for sure.
So it was part of the whole trip.
Yeah, exactly. Part of the main objective was definitely to finish an album out here.
Okay. You finishing an album, not starting an album.
No, I started an album.
And finishing.
Yes.
Awesome. So how long have you been here?
Just about six-ish months.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what have you learned about home that you absolutely loved? And what have you learned that you just cannot deal with? You know, coming from abroad, I'm sure there are quite a few of what you might not like, but then usually those turn up to be things that you do appreciate, even if you don't like them.
I always start with the extreme close proximity of family at all times is something that I love now, you know? At first, it's probably really weird for family back home, in America, to hear that I'm just around everybody all the time now, because over there, they know I'm a recluse, you know, like a hermit. And it's very easy to live like that, you know, with the access to my own car at all times, you know. I'm always on my own page. But, and I thought I wasn't gonna like it too, because I'm so used to that, you know, just that certain piece of being by yourself most of the time. But being here, first couple weeks, it was, what do you call it? You know, it was very, I wouldn't say stressful, it was just a very big change, you know, the amount of
Suddenly.
people. Yeah, exactly. There's just everyone around at all times. I wake up in the morning, usually I just no sound. I can drink my coffee when I want, blah, blah, blah. But now, somebody's asking me if I ate, you know, like, are you okay, da-da-da. But it's cool, it's cool. It's, I don't know how, any other way to say it, just, I love it now, you know. Now I wouldn't like to be alone all the time, you know.
Thank you. It's
But-
because you didn't have that experience that
Yeah.
you really didn't know how you would feel.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I think it's within your genes
Yeah, to just, it's
to be in that.
second nature, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
communal atmosphere, yeah.
For sure. But the thing I don't like, I'm not gonna lie, is I commend everybody out here for this certain level of patience that y'all got with just certain things, you know? Just certain things that I don't.
Example?
For example, electricity, yeah, exactly. It's pretty nuts to me. Like, just I'll be in the middle of something and then just boom, you know? And if you didn't charge your portable battery or something, you're screwed, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I'm not the best with yet, the patience that you need, you know?
It grows on you
Oh, for sure.
because after a while, you start making those particular moments more interesting and more even family oriented.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
My first daughter walked in the dark.
Swear.
So nobody got to see her because usually you're like, oh, she walked, and there's like this whole big commotion going around when a child starts walking. But the lights were out, we had a fire, and then the fire had kind of dimmed, and then all of a sudden, she walked. And we were never able to record it. It was just, everything was just happened fast.
True.
So, those are the beautiful moments you could appreciate.
Definitely. It makes it more, what's the word people use? I don't know, all these words that slip in my mind right now, but it
Because
just
you're
makes
learning Amharic, that's
There we
right.
go. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's a good excuse. Thank you. But it's like, when you experience things in this way, without the distraction of technology and stuff, it's more, I don't know, I guess it lasts longer.
Can you please tell us about growing up in the US musically?
It's pretty random because you get access to everything.
Yeah.
It's like America is like the factory of the world. Every country in the world sends their best there,
Yeah.
So it's the definition of melting pot. So in school too, I'm hanging out with one dude from Bolivia, next dude is from Iraq, this dude is from Dominican Republic, I got a Jamaican, I got a Chinese dude. It's like everybody around you is different, so it's inevitable to experience trillions of different kinds of music, Old stuff,
cultures.
new stuff, yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
It's actually lovely.
Yeah, it's definitely lovely.
It is, because you're not expected to go to Iran or Bolivia to actually know, even if it's a little bit about that particular country, and you probably get to know the most important part.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they're also trying to represent their own selves. So it's a nice way to get to know other cultures. So now, The Voice. How did you get a chance to audition for The Voice? Whose idea was it?
God's. It was God's idea for sure. The way that it came to me, it was pretty random. I was in a band called The Relics in the the DMV area for probably like 2 years, 3 years, fresh out of high school, and things weren't going too good for us, like money-wise especially. And, reception-wise, we were going to how many different shows where it was just like 4 or 5 people. That stuff starts to really eat at your mental, Spirits were low in the band, and as the leader, I felt like it was my responsibility to, do something to like boost our everything, I thought it would bring more attention and all that. Oh, let me backtrack a little bit. I was signing up for the Marines actually, because that's how desperate I was at the time. And I think online, I just happened to be watching YouTube videos about like how it is to start off in the Marines, like life expectancy and all that kind of stuff. And then I happened to see this girl named, just on the side of the related videos, I seen a clip from The Voice, a lady named Tessa Chin performing some Gwen Stefani song. And this reggae breakdown comes in and everyone goes nuts. Like they were chilling, they were liking the performance, and then the reggae kicks in and they go ballistic. So that was just a green light, I was like, yeah, if they don't like us here, I'm gonna go over there and show some reggae out there. And so I said, forget about the Marines. Signed up
The Voice.
Yeah,
Here I come.
exactly. Signed up for that. Went out there and things went how they went. Thank God.
Wow, that's a nice, huge jump from Marine to The Voice.
Yeah, I don't know how a dude as tall as me, I was thinking some crazy stuff is gonna happen out there, I'm gonna be the first target, da-da-da. So thank God for The Voice, Shout out to the Marines though, too.
How did you get into music? How did you start? Did you play any instruments, or do you sing? Or do you do both?
Now I just sing and I write, and I'm trying to get into the world of producing. But, my start in music, like the instruments that I played, didn't really have too much to do with me like now. It didn't lead into this career of mine, but I wish I could remember my band teacher's name, just to shout her out. I remember in school I was playing like trumpet, baritone, I think tuba, all the loud ones. For obnoxious kids, we love that kind of stuff. And it was simple. In my mind, I was like, oh yeah, 3 keys? That should be easy, But it's not, trust me, it's definitely not. But yeah, I played that in school. Okay. Trumpet, baritone, tuba. There was this thing called, I can't remember the name, but some kind of after school like band thing that one of the teachers had started. And that's where I really was the first glimmer of, I kind of like the idea of singing, like the lead singer of the band kind of thing. I tested it out a little bit there, but nothing really came from that. It all came 5-6 years later when that voice thing happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
So But you did sing before The Voice.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
So how did you practice? You practiced when you were on The Voice?
I'd never really, I don't know how to, it's like
It was just
practice.
something you knew you could do.
Yeah, straight up.
It's awesome.
I sang in front of some people and they liked it, and then I don't want to say I knew it because I know music or nothing, but in my mind it's pretty simple to know if I sound good or not, you know? And I can tell when I'm sounding bad, but I just sing a couple Bob Marley songs, some Damien songs, some, what else? Michael Jackson, some James Brown. I just tested out my favorites, you know? I said, it sounds okay.
worked.
So I kept it
Wow,
going.
you're a pretty lucky young man.
Thank you.
Who wrote Reminisce?
Your boy, yours truly.
Brilliant. So you are a writer too.
Yeah.
So how hard or how easy is it to write your own songs?
Oof.
Do you write for other people too?
I've tried. I'm
Yeah?
not the best at that. I
Okay.
gotta get better. You know, when it comes to music, I kind of feel extremely possessive about my music. You know, like if I happen to write something nice for somebody, it's gonna be a moment where I'm like,
Should I not?
I'm gonna hope like that they forget about it and I can leave with it. But it's not too hard to write songs. It's just I have a really scattered brain. Like I can never really focus on one thing at once. So there's these random moments where God just slaps me and makes me focus on something, and a full song will come out. You know?
That's when you do it.
Yeah.
Wow. Now let's get back to The Voice and just tell us the experience. So you went out there. You obviously applied before you went, right?
Yeah. Some long application process online and stuff.
Okay.
And there was like, what do you call them, preliminary, you know, before the TV thing,
Yeah.
kind of auditions that I went out to Nashville for. Shout out to my parents for paying for that long bus trip.
You went on the bus.
Yeah. We caught a Greyhound and stayed at some really small rundown motel. And it was me and the guitar player from the band, The Relics. The dude's name is Noah Boniuti. But we were literally splitting McChickens. You know McChickens, right? Like half, you get half, I get half. We have 2 McDoubles a day, 2 McChickens a day. Like really
Yeah, the tight budget.
Extremely tight.
So how long did the road trip take?
It was a couple of hours. I mean, a lot of hours, like 14 or something like that.
Okay.
I might be tripping, but it was a long.
It wasn't 24 hours.
No. But it was
Okay.
a whole bunch of hours for sure.
You got there, you got into your hotel, or did you just straight go to the preliminaries?
Nah, we went to the hotel, you know, got ready for the auditions, and
That same day?
I think it was the next day.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you had
my
a few.
memory's not that great, but
That's okay. I just want like an idea of, you know, how you went from the bus ride, hotel, and then go to the preliminary. Where was the preliminary?
it was
At another hotel?
No. It was actually at I can't remember clearly. It was like some huge building, like maybe some arena kind of thing, something. It was just some kind of big building, I remember. And if you ever seen the old school American Idol videos, where that line, it literally wraps around itself like 17 times, it's just what you've seen from there. It really, like, it was so many loops around this building. Then you get into the building, and it loops a couple times inside. You get to another room, another couple loops.
Wow.
Then there's a stairway where there's a line going all the way up. It was just so many people. Really intimidating to see if you've been singing for 1 year, you know?
Yeah.
All of these guys, like, oh my God.
So how many people were in front of you?
A good amount, like 10,000 plus, I think.
Wow.
Had to be. It was a lot of people.
So
No
all these
exaggeration.
people are coming from all over the States? Or is it also all around the world?
No.
It's just from the States?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but I think you have to be an American citizen, something like that. Pretty sure you have to be from America. But they had, like the audition we went to in Nashville, all of those surrounding states most likely had people coming to this place, you know? And then the DC audition had people probably from New Jersey, New York, you know?
Okay.
That's how they kind of like, you know, made it easier for people to get there.
I know, otherwise, if you, I mean...
Imagine if it's the whole country coming to one spot.
I know,
What?
that would just not work.
Oh, nah.
The experience with Gwen Stefani.
It was cool. I used to have a huge crush on her when I was a kid, so it was an experience, you know? I was mad shy. I don't know if you could tell on the camera, but I was shy for sure. I swear, like kids from my elementary school, they know I used to like tell these big stories, like I'm going home to Gwen Stefani, you know, like kiddie
Oh,
stuff,
you
you know,
even-
like, yeah. We're gonna go on a date and that, you know. So it was trippy seeing her in real life, for sure.
So I read somewhere that somebody made a comment about you and The Voice's other contestants. They said you were more unusual of that particular year.
Yeah.
So what made you unusual?
A couple things probably. My lifestyle, my look, my stature, you know,
Stature.
my genre of choice. All of that, it definitely plays into me being unusual, for sure. You could see it in pictures too. I think I looked at a picture a couple days ago and it's funny to me whenever I see it. I'm on the
I know,
far
your
left.
dreads.
Yeah.
Boy, your dreads.
Exactly.
Now, those were unusual.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, not unusual, but maybe for them they were unusual.
I'm
Because
pretty sure.
you stuck out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was the
Your
first
height.
freeform dread dude on the show, you know? Everyone else has the nice, neat ones,
I know, I
you know?
like that. That's
You
a
see
very
me on
nice
stage
one.
like this.
Is there a genre difference in the kind of music we in Ethiopia and you in the States here?
Genre difference? In which way?
Like currently now, when you go around, there are certain kinds of
Trends kind of thing?
yeah that you hear, but then when you go back home, would those be the kind of music you listen to, or even I don't know when you go clubbing?
Yeah, there's big differences out here
Right.
than there is out there. What's the words? You can see the sharpest contrast, is that how to say it? Like the starkest what do you usually, what's the word? The biggest contrast I can...
That's a good choice.
Yeah, the biggest contrast I see is like, it's a lot more family-friendly stuff out here, for sure.
I got you. X-rated out there,
Yeah.
family friendly out here.
Yeah, it can go from PG to X-rated out there, for sure, especially now. And out here, I see it going from PG to PG-13. You know, it's
But
more.
you see, the difference is on, like, for example, I don't know if you listen to the radio, but when you listen to the radio out there,
Yeah.
there are certain words that are not allowed on air.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But in Ethiopia, when you listen on air, there are certain words that are actually, that shouldn't be on the air, that
That
are.
are allowed. Yeah.
That are, exactly. It's not, I don't even know if it's allowed, but they just tend
just
to
slip
just
through?
slip through. You know what I mean?
It could be a problem with You mean American music that's played
Yes,
here?
yes, yes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you're 100% right. I'm remembering some moments in the Fedes when I'm hearing some song from America,
Yeah.
and it's absolutely not censored. You know.
Thank
Not
you.
even a
That's
little
the
bit.
word. They're
It's
not
probably
censored.
a problem with
Yeah.
translation. Definitely, that's what it is. Even me though, you know, on when I did my performance for on EBS of which song was it? Black Skin. Yeah, that song. I said something about. I literally said something about sand on a beach that we swim on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's what I said. But I guess they heard me incorrectly and they censored beach. I guess they thought I meant something else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's definitely translation problems.
So you got a little taste of that one.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You've been around musicians, obviously. I hope you've been around out and about where you get to see certain clubs, even live performances.
Yeah, about that. I still have had some trouble breaking out of my recluse shell, you know what I mean? I've been stuck in the house for about 4 months making the album. And after that, I've just been stuck in the house working on these videos and stuff. But there is a show coming this week that I'm going to be coming to, for sure. Rufna has some big show happening. So I'm definitely going to have a nice little experience there. That's going to be nice, yeah.
Wow. That's going to be nice and big, and you are going to enjoy that one. How do you find your musicians? Would you say our music is diverse?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
For sure. I mean...
Music that's made in Ethiopia, you think travels to Mali or Nigeria or even the States?
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Yeah? Good.
To a certain extent. I feel like the music of the past did more. You know, I feel like it crossed the boundaries more. Like I always talk about those bands like Walia's band, Ibex band, Roha band, all those bands, even Telahun, Mahmoud, all the classic from the golden age,
their music, you'll find it everywhere, for real, for real. You'll find dudes in Japan listening to it everywhere you see it. In the States, always you find Ethiopian jazz being played. But I feel like recently, Ethiopian music has kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. Imagine it used to go out and now it's just in, you know what I mean? It's like, I think it's more centralized. I think it's more, I don't know how to explain it.
For ourselves, basically.
Yeah, for ourselves, there we go.
It's not like we're trying to
appeal
go
to the
in,
masses.
yeah.
It's more just for ourselves, like you just said. Yeah, nothing wrong about that, you know.
Did you have to make adjustments to your CD in your arrangements since you've been here?
Yeah, not too many. I like to.
In what way? If you could answer that, if you can. If you can't, that's okay. You can hint.
I've been trying to incorporate more traditional, not traditional, just more Ethiopian aspects, you know what I mean? Like instruments, what do you call them? Time signature, all that, you know?
Okay.
But also, the most noticeable difference is probably my language choice. I've cleaned up some of my word choices.
Okay.
Some things can't be cleaned, you know? Some things have to just stay how they are. But for the most part, I've definitely cleaned up my act a little bit. A little bit since I've been out here. I want my grandma and everybody to listen to
exactly, exactly. This goes into the other question that I just recently asked you about how diverse we are, how we want to capture the other market outside of our own people, right? What do you think our musicians should do to be on the world market without selling out? And as you've said it, we don't sell out, so that's not a problem. Yeah. But what do we need to do in order to be able to attract a more, it doesn't even have to be, you know, the West. It could just be to attract other African countries.
I would say it's the same kind of, and what I say now is not like a preachy kind of thing or like you know, you guys should do better. No, not at all, because I'm doing it to my own music too. Exactly for the reason you said, to appeal not only to the West, but to just more, you know? And that is, and also it's another thing I've always said to people in my hometown in America, like Maryland, DMV area, we have a lot of talented singers, rappers, whatever, but nobody, there's a certain level of doing it for us that is counterproductive, you know? If you just, like, I used to do the same thing, just release my music, whatever, like this kind of picture, that kind of picture, whatever. But if you look at the competition, you know, if you look at the top sellers, the top, what do you call them? The big hitters in the music industry, there's a certain, you know, there's a certain cleanliness, you know, there's a certain neat, you know,
standard.
Like, yeah, a certain aesthetic that you know, you gotta have. So I guess it's just, the best thing to do is just packaging things. But I've seen it happening a lot. Just the other day, I'm watching 100 music videos on Nahum Records, Rob Productions, who else? There's a whole bunch of groups out here that are making great music videos, you know? But that plus, you know, album rollout, the way that people release their stuff, you know?
Yeah.
A video here, wait a couple months, another video there, wait a couple, you know? It's gotta be strategic and stuff, but that's really it. Just the packaging.
So what is the best way to actually, now that you said, you know, you have to be strategic. If you let go a single, does the single have to have a video? Would it be more, would it capture more if you get a video with it? And then how many weeks do you wait till? Is that single from the album that you are actually going to be, you know, all those are like very tricky, and knowing how to do each step, as you said, is awesome. So I think you should go down this step very slowly, so even our audience, in case there's, in case there's anybody, you know, out there that would like to know the steps, because it's key, obviously, it's crucial.
True. I would say, you know, I've been watching two key dudes. Like there's an album that came from Burna Boy, and there's an album that came from this dude named Ashake.
Both hugely impactful, you know, especially in the quickness that they reached, the heights that they reached. It might be misleading to people, like, oh, just drop something and you know, it'll do what it does. But if you watch how they did it,
exactly.
Specifically, the Ashake dude, one video comes out, I don't know, May, and it's a good video, you know, with good promotion, and you give yourself time to promote it. You don't just release the next one next week or something. You release one, you promote it, you do shows, you know, you do interviews, you do whatever you do. Then comes another one, and you got to strategically release that next one
I'm not the expert
No,
of
I
this,
know.
but I would think most likely you watch your numbers going and going and going. As soon as they start to tip down, bam, release
You
the
add
next
another one.
you know? And then it comes up a little again, and then once you see it coming down, then comes the third one, you know? And then you do that for as many times as you think you need, and you release the album at a, you know, nice time afterwards too. Make sure that you have content to continuously push it on Instagram, like the videos, maybe some lyric videos, you know, anything. But you just have to make sure that you don't just drop it on everybody at once, you know? Give them time, feed it to them slowly. You know, what's the word? Build anticipation.
Right.
You know, and that's pretty much the best advice I could give. But, you know, I'd probably have better advice once I've done it myself. You know?
No, but the best part is you noticed, you know, how Burna Boy and Asake actually did. I was actually amazed at Asake's album because in the first week and the countries that it reached on the Billboard are countries we don't normally hear. Bolivia.
Exactly.
You know, that Bolivians were listening to this brother every single day. And it's quite interesting how they did that. So I'm glad gave our audience a little
bit, you know.
a little bit. You know, we'll see how they go. What do you think of our music scene?
That's tough.
Right?
I like it, yeah.
We do have some good, talented people out
Oh,
here.
for sure, yeah. I always, I mean, the ones, I gotta get more into it too, but the ones I've paid attention to is obviously Rofnan. You got dude named Scott Nati. There's some young dude I've been following on Instagram. He makes like this, he makes drill music, and it's different to hear it in Amarinha. This dude, Lij Abi, I think. And it's a whole bunch of people. It's a whole bunch of people. Names slip my mind, but it's a whole bunch
There's
of people.
quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, having the social media forum is a good thing because obviously you're not somebody that jumps around all the clubs to see what's going on. You're able to actually sit home and actually go through all these people that are actually there.
Yeah. Thank God for the internet, right?
No, that's right. So, do you listen to the radio, stream, or do you listen to CDs?
I mean, all of the above. I have in America, I have a minivan that has a CD player, so I play CD players. I play CDs in there. Streaming, I'm a cheapskate. I don't like to pay too much streaming services, so I love SoundCloud for that. It's free. But Apple Music I pay for, so I stream from there.
So
And
you still streamer?
Yeah, and radio. Whenever I find a radio, yeah, I'll listen to it.
So your van doesn't have a radio?
It do actually. I don't. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. There we go. Let me be honest. In America, radio is trash. Like for real. I'm
Nobody
not gonna
listens
lie.
to trash.
Yeah.
I mean radio.
Yeah. There we go. You said it best though. Nobody. It's like regurgitate. It's just repeat. There's classics like 92.3.
Okay.
93.9.
But you do have a few that
Yeah,
you,
but they're. I hope I don't have problems with them in the future. But I'm telling you, you turn on 92.3, something is playing. You don't like it. You switch to 93.9, it's the same song. It's just like 10 seconds later, you know? 99.5, same thing. 101, it's the same. 101.1 is playing music that I heard in middle school. It's still playing the same old, like the same playlist. It's trippy, I'm telling you.
Okay,
Maybe I
so
gotta start a
radio's
radio
out.
station. Yeah.
Are you attracted to melancholy?
What's that, like sad-
melancholy,
sad stuff?
exactly. You know, love songs.
Is there a reason you ask this? Are you noticing a pattern in my music?
No.
I'm not attracted to it.
I definitely don't want to think that. I'd rather say I'm attracted to positive
Would you say
stuff.
Ethiopian music is melancholy?
A lot of it is, for sure.
Okay, you listen to Ethiopian music.
Yeah.
Who do you listen to?
I like a couple of old singers. I love...
So would you say they were in that?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay, so that's, you see, we came to the answer.
You're right, for sure. Like Ephraim has a lot of that stuff. Ephraim Tamiru.
Yes.
I love Kuku Sebsebe, Gigi, Nuai, Mahmoud, Telahun. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of dudes. But yeah, you're right. When I think about it, especially Telahun, yeah, they all have mad sad songs. So yeah, it's a thing. I don't know what it is.
Exactly, it was back then.
Yeah.
It's interesting nowadays. You know, when I grew up, there used to be slow songs. You know, it was the thing to dance slow songs. I mean, that's how you got close to other folks.
That's true. That's true. Now
But
it's a
when
different
you
kind.
grew up, there's no such thing as slow sounds.
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
but there
even
is
though
still.
there's like a kizombo, we've moved into a more sensual route.
Still got the slowness
Still,
to it.
it sure does. It sure
But
does.
even there's young dudes too. Like I mean, he ain't that young no more. But when the weekend came around, he was pushing big time sad sounds. It's like American version of like the Tizita vibe. With a different twist to it.
Right,
a little bit
right.
more X-rated to it. But it still has that. Melancholy.
So, so we have come to the end of our conversation. Thank you very much, Menlik, for giving me this opportunity to have this conversation with you.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me.
If you have any last words, I'll give you the floor.
I guess follow me on Instagram, right? Menlikz, Menlikz. And yeah, you can find my stuff on YouTube under the same name, Menlikz.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for watching Afreeqa. This is your host, Sefu. We will be showing at 4 o'clock Saturday afternoon on African Renaissance Television Services, Arts TV. Thank you.